Medicare.gov/care has information about healthcare providers in your area? At Medicare.gov/care, you can find and compare hospitals, doctors, nursing homes, and more. See detailed information on quality of care and how patients rate their experience. Visit Medicare.gov/care today. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733, and take back control of your life.
Office in West Palm Beach.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
For a limited time, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 9/21/22. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Restrictions apply. New business 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
For years, the Manhattan Project, the project to build the first atomic bomb, remained classified. But one man in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, documented the entire thing with his camera. Be sure to listen to this week's edition of Our American Stories on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
From the Racetrack Traffic Center.
Well, just getting word from Florida Highway Patrol that you just have one left lane block now, southbound 95. This is near Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. You had all of the southbound lanes shut down for hours this morning, but again, one left lane remains blocked at this point. Elsewhere, just seeing some of those typical slowdowns. No major backups going on at this point. I'm Joel Malkin.
This report is sponsored by the Mark Moss Show podcast.
The markets and financial system are out of control and impossible to understand unless you understand this. I'm Mark Moss, helping you navigate the decentralized revolution. Listen to The Mark Moss Show on the iHeartRadio app, on the Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone deserves to feel safe and protected at home, but some communities are more at risk for deaths or injuries in residential fires than others. According to FEMA, socioeconomic factors are among the best-known predictors of fire rates in neighborhoods. As a global leader in fire safety, KIDA believes this issue is cause for alarm. See how KIDA is promoting fire safety in all communities at causeforalarm.org. That's causeforalarm.org. Join us for safer communities.
This and the Treasure Coast. You're listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, it is the Penthouse on a Friday. I hope you guys are having a good day. Good morning to everybody, and thanks for listening to Real Radio 921. We'll take you to 2 o'clock. Jimmy's in the house.
Good morning.
Francis is here.
Hi.
And it's time for our first trifecta.
Riders up. It's Creek's trifecta.
There's always been a lot of ways people talk about weight loss and things to do and motivation. Well, there's one for Zion Williamson to keep his weight down. Signed the rookie deal with the Pelicans for $193 million. But if he doesn't keep his weight down, he's going to lose some of his guaranteed money. So Zion, big fan of yours, but you got to stay away from the ice cream, the cookies, and fast food. You got to stay under your weight. Because if he goes over, there's going to be weigh-ins every week. He will lose some of his guaranteed money. And he may not care. I'm not saying he cares or not, but they had to put this in his contract. So if they had to put it in his contract, they are definitely worried about his weight and him ballooning up to over 300 pounds. And at 300 pounds, he's not going to be really any good to the Pelicans for what he needs to do for make this a winning franchise. Yankees won last night 1-0, and Judge hits a home run, number 39.
All rise.
That was for Jimmy, who's on his way to New Jersey next week. He wanted to make him feel happy and welcome back to the Big Apple in the New Jersey area. I watched Derek Jeter last night, episodes 3 and 4. And if you're a fan of the Mets or the Red Sox, wow, Jeter was pretty brutal. He was like, when we played the Mets in the World Series, it was just the Mets. That's all. It was just the Mets. Really didn't have anything against them. Just it was the Mets. And he always thought that the Red Sox somehow or another would end up blowing something in a series. They would always make a mistake. Well, that was good until the Yankees were up 3-1 years later, and the Red Sox came back and beat it 4-3. But again, I highly recommend this if you're a Yankee fan or a sports fan. A-Rod gets a lot of press in this. I am a little surprised, but he does get a lot of mentions. A-Rod's in it. Talks a lot about their relationship, where it went bad, and it comes from an interview that A-Rod did in Esquire magazine where he really wasn't too kindly to Jeter. But I really, if you're a Yankee fan, watch it. You'll like it. And that is your first trifecta. Now it's this day in history.
On this day in history.
Well, today's list is going to start 132 years ago. In 1890, Vincent van Gogh died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in France. 113 years ago today, 1909, the newly formed General Motors Corporation acquires the country's leading luxury automobile maker, the Cadillac Automobile Company, for $4.5 million. It was a bargain.
Really was.
Steal.
68 years ago today, in 1954, J.R.R. Tolkien published The Fellowship of the Ring, the first volume of his Lord of the Rings trilogy. 64 years ago today, in 1958, NASA was created 9 months after Russia launched their first Sputnik satellite. 56 years ago today, 1966, Bob Dylan was injured in a motorcycle accident near his home in Woodstock, New York. He broke several vertebrae and suffered amnesia and mild paralysis. 41 years ago today, 1981, Prince Charles and Lady Diana were married before 2,500 guests at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. The fairy tale wedding watched by 700 million viewers around the world. Sadly, it didn't work out between the two lovebirds. 39 years ago today, 1983, the arousing film Private School starring Phoebe Cates opened.
Phoebe Cates?
Phoebe?
Yes.
Phoebe?
Yes.
This movie features Bessie Russell riding a galloping horse topless. Come on, guys, you know what you did to that. 26 years ago today, 1996, 35-year-old Carl Lewis shocked the world by taking the gold medal in the long jump at the Atlanta Olympics. It was his 9th gold, and it made him one of only 2 athletes ever to win the same event at 4 straight Olympic Games.
Amazing.
22 years ago today, in 2000, Brad Pitt married Jennifer Aniston. Their divorce was finalized in October of 2005. Angelina Jolie gave birth to Brad's daughter, Shiloh, in May of 2006. You do the math. 16 years ago today, in 2006, Pamela Anderson married Kid Rock. They divorced 4 months later. What a bliss. 14 years ago today, in 2008, Alice Cooper released Along Came a Spider, his 18th album, featuring Slash on Vengeance Is Mine and Ozzy on Wake the Dead. And that's what happened on this wonderful day, July 29th in our history.
Thank you, Jimmy. We do it every time after the first trifecta. The day we're speaking of, which is the 29th, we tell you what happened, and maybe it rings a bell for you and makes something happen.
Maybe. So I think a lot of us are starting to notice it, and I'm hearing people talk more and more about it, and it's these iPad tipping, right?
Yeah.
So you go to an establishment. I go to I used to go to a certain place where I would get my food prep meals, and once you go, they turn the iPad, and there's always a place for tipping. And I go in there myself. I pick out my own meals. I understand that there's somebody who prepares them at another facility, but it's always like you kind of feel that obligation because that's the thing that shows up as 15, 20, 25% or whatever.
All right.
And it's a new thing. I've even utilized those iPads when I've worked festivals, but I am bartending and providing a service. And I know some people are just like, well, I don't know. Am I supposed to tip? Am I not supposed to? I feel like I'm tipping everybody these days. So I want to see where we stand when it comes to tipping. So we want your take on this. And this is what they're talking about as far as, when you are going to tip somebody, how much, they say percentage-wise, are you going to tip somebody, and do you feel like you should? So I apologize. My computer has, okay. I'm trying to pull this up on it. But I want to know that your opinion when I'm going on this. Do you feel obligated to tip when you do it, or sometimes will you not?
I feel a little bit obligated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also tip less when I do it on the machine.
And why is that?
I don't know. Like I'll do 22% or 25%, and it's less than what I would have gave.
Okay. What about you, Jimmy?
I do it. Yeah, I normally do. I'm so used to it. I don't know. It's a habit of mine.
Yeah.
It's because to me, I don't know. There's something about it. I mean, it's just. I guess it depends on where you are, is how you feel about it. But like I was at the ball game last night, and they now have pretty much iPads for all that. So it's just their cash register.
Yeah.
You know, in that particular case, right? Or in other cases, it's sort of like that. So I would normally tip them anyway. So yeah, I just go ahead. And I like the fact that, okay, there it is, 15, 20, 25, whatever. They, depending on the ones, and boom, 20%. There you go.
All right, so let's see where we stand with these scenarios.
Brandy?
It depends.
How do you?
It depends,
Yeah.
I guess, on the situation. Now, most of the time, I will tip. Like even if like I said, my food prep place, I will tip. Even though I'm the one going and grabbing my own food, but I do understand that they are providing a service, and there was somebody who was in the kitchen at one point making the food, and the people there. I don't know how much. And in my head too, like I feel like maybe they don't make that much hourly, so the tips really help them.
Yeah, of course.
So a majority of the time I am, if I am presented with that situation with the iPad tipping. But these are just tipping in general. And so we want to say, so they're like, instead of arguing, I want to know once and for all how much you're actually iPad tipping in these kind of scenarios. So they start here. They're like, if you're picking up carry out at a restaurant and they turn around the iPad, how much are you tipping? So this is under 5%, 5 to 9%. Jimmy, I sent you the wrong one. You're going to be pulling up the wrong thing. I saw you over there.
I usually pull the wrong thing.
I saw you over there. So under 5%, 5 to 9%, 10 to 14%, 15 to 19%, 20%, or over 20%. And that's if you're picking up carry out at a restaurant.
20%.
Yeah. I'm 20%.
I don't even think about it.
Yeah. I've done 20% for so long because the math is easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Even just picking up food.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm the same. And it looks like we are in the minority. The majority of people, look at these scums, under 5%.
Scums.
42% under 5% when they're picking up food. Then the next highest at 22% is 10 to 14%. 20%, only 8% of the people voted that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So how much do you tip at buffets? Under 5, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20, or over 20.
The last buffet I was at, I don't go to buffets, but the last one
Yeah.
I was at Caesars Casino.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember.
Well, they probably added the tip already.
I
would say it somewhere.
I don't know.
at
I
Caesars.
know it was. I know it was $75 a person.
Okay.
It was $300, and I gave him $100.
Okay. So you're like, you do the math. So that's way over 70. That's way over 20%. So you
Yeah.
did over 20.
Yeah.
I probably do 20. Probably at a buffet because you still have the person getting you beverages.
Well, that's the
right?
thing. You still have a server,
Yep.
typically,
Mhm.
and somebody bussing the table,
Yep.
and somebody cleaning the table. You
Yep.
still have almost everything except them bringing you your main course.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess.
So what would you do? How much?
Same 20.
20.
Yeah.
You're over 20. You're at 1%. 20%, 11% of the people. Again, skippers. I'm just kidding. Under 5% was the majority at 43% of people.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Under 5% if they're at a buffet. How much do you tip your barista? Under $1, $1, $2, $3, $4 to $5, or over $5. Like if you're going to
Starbucks
or Dunkin',
so
like what would you do?
Maybe if it's like $3.50, I'll give him $5.
Okay.
So I give him $1.50.
Well, that's not one of the answers. So.
Well, I'm going on
Well,
$3.50.
a buck.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
a buck. Yeah. You
Buck
got to
or
pick
two.
one of these.
Yeah.
You keep
A
on
buck
making
or
me
two.
do math, and I'm like, pick one of these.
I'm thinking about a cappuccino.
I
It's
know.
$3.49. So I just thought I'd give the guy $5, keep it.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So a buck.
And about the same buck or two.
Yeah. I'm like a buck or two as well, too,
Right.
when I order on my app, because it's one coffee. So normally, and they give you, when you get your receipt, they're like, would you like to tip? So yeah, a buck or two. It looks like we are in the majority at $1, by the way. And then the second one is under $1, 33%.
I noticed one kid used to come into Casa Monte Cristo, and he was barista in Boca and Glades, and I was shocked the amount of money he makes in tips. He does pretty well on an 8-hour day. He says he kicks it.
Yeah. This one I find interesting, and I've put money in the tip jar, but that's typically all I've done when I pay cash. But how much do you tip at a self-serve ice cream or yogurt bar? Self-serve, right? 5%, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20, or over 20%.
Oh, you might call me a scummer on this one, but I don't tip at a place like that. But the ones that I go to is the one at the gas station.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, so it's not. I guess does that count? Because
like the racetrack has that frozen yogurt bar.
Yeah,
you're paying for that to register.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything.
Yeah, I don't tip at something like that. Now, if it's one, there was one in Lauderdale by the Sea we would go to when we were on vacation there, and that we would tip the typical 20% because that even though we sort of self-serve, they still did the toppings.
Oh, okay. See, I've done it where you do the toppings.
All we did was
got it.
Pour. Is that the right thing? When you put the ice cream into the cup and then you give it to them and you say, I want that topping, that topping, that topping. So then we would, but that's a little different.
Well, it looks like you're not alone. 93% under 5%. 93% of people would do under 5% for that for self-serve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just like a hit or miss. If I pay cash and I have some change and $1, I'll put it in their little tip jar. Because I know that they also have to prepare it. They have to go in there. They have to, and typically when I go, there's only one person working. And so that's when I'll do it. Sweet Frog. That place is the jam. Sorry. I'm going to give a little shout out to that place.
Frog?
Yes,
Where's that at?
It's off of Indian Town Road.
Oh.
So when you're heading home, it's by 95. It's one of my favorites.
It's called Sweet Frog?
Yes.
Sweet Frog.
Yes.
Right. Would it have ice cream?
It is so good.
It's a frozen
froyo.
Froyo?
Yeah, but it's my, you know how much I like froyo. That's one of my top.
It's great. I mean, it hardly feels like you're not eating ice cream to me.
Yeah. And then we'll end it with this one here. And this one is dear to my heart. How much do you tip at a bar? 5%, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20, or over 20%. I am always over 20%, but that's just because I am a bartender.
Sure.
How about you guys?
I would say over 20.
Anytime I've 20, I just typically, again, most everything I tip is 20.
You're the majority at 42%. Only 7% do over 20%. And then they ask here, if a bartender gives you a free drink, do you still tip as if you paid for it? Yes or no?
I would assume that'd be no, because you're not,
I do.
I don't see it on the bill, so if I don't see it on the bill, I don't tip to it. I don't add, like, in my mind, okay, and here's another $5 or whatever onto it. And no, I don't.
I do. And I also do, and a lot of people don't look at that. Like, if you go for happy hour or if they happen to give you, like, a discount, I will look at what the original bill would be.
And tip on that.
And then I would tip on that, not on that discounted bill that they do.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think anytime you tip somebody anything, like you said, at least 20%, they're going to appreciate it. They're working hard. And even if it's situations where, tips, you rarely get tips. There are situations you give somebody a tip, they're like, I don't really get it. I mean, valet, a lot of times, those guys, they
live on tips.
Yeah, my one buddy was telling me he was working at 2 different places, and the place that was less, he made more because the other place was people with more money, but he seemed they got very angry by the price of the valet at a restaurant. It was like $6.
Yeah. See, majority of the time, restaurants will have free valet.
Yeah, this one.
And you just tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that when they charge you because at a lot of restaurants, you don't have a choice but to. There's a certain one in Palm Beach Gardens on the water, and they have no parking.
Yeah.
You have to valet, but it's free valet. But you still have to tip.
This place, you pay $6.
I guess you don't have to, but
$6 is a lot to a lot of people for valet.
Yeah. And a lot of times people don't have cash on them anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're obligated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Yeah,
and he said too, it's a little bit of older clientele, so a lot of them don't have Venmo and this and that. And they look at, he goes, we end up getting stiffed a lot.
Yeah,
that's the one time that I may look like a jerk because I don't carry cash ever, almost never. So if there's a cash situation, then usually I'll have to find another way somehow.
Yeah, the only
find
thing
an ATM or something. But.
The only thing that'll bother me is if I'm out and I give somebody, say, a $20 bill for, let's just say, a cigar. It's $8, and they'll say to me, "You want change?
You want change? Yeah."
And I think that's wrong. Give me the change and let me decide what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you a $12 tip on an $8 cigar.
Yeah. I've had that happen too.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And a lot of people I just go, okay, go. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of
You-
course, of
You
course.
feel bad or whatever, but it's like, give me my change and I'll break off something for you. But everybody's different. 877-927-6969. That's the number to call.
Yeah, we got Joe on the line. I think Joe's got something on tipping. Joe, welcome to the Penthouse.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, right?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Janice, how you doing?
Hey, super, Joseph.
Hey, listen, you guys previously were talking about scratch-offs and the mega ticket tonight and how everybody's going mad. So I was in public.
We lost you, Joe.
Still there, bud?
Joe?
Oh, there we go.
Yes, can you hear me?
No, okay, you ended at where you were at Publix, and then we lost you.
Okay, I went there because I had to cash in a couple of stupid scratch-offs, and I got all my mega tickets ready, but I had $20 I won, so I put it in the machine, and I got a $20 Monopoly doubler. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You still with me?
Yes,
Still
we're
with
with you.
ya.
Scratching all the tickets, all the numbers. I'm scratching one at a time. That's the way I like to do it. And the one before the last one was a number 4. And I had a number 4 up in my winning numbers. So I'm figuring, $10, $20. Are you still with me?
Yes.
with ya.
Sounds like you won, so we're definitely with you.
20 dimes.
Wow. This is today?
20 minutes ago.
Wow.
Good for you.
Sweet.
Congratulations.
All
As
right.
Greek would say, what are you buying as lunch?
Yeah. I was waiting for it.
I know.
was
I
waiting
know.
for it.
I said it
Just gonna
before
let
you
him do it
could.
first.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. It's pretty ironic that, with all this crazy stuff going on, because I'm a regular. I buy scratch-offs. I play weekly lotto, like that.
Is
But
that your biggest win?
never hit 20. Yeah, this is my biggest. So
God bless
I
you.
might head down to the office today. I have the forms from the last time I was down there. I might just make an appointment to go down there and just, because they take the taxes right off.
Yes.
After 1,000, they take the taxes. So whatever you get, you don't have to worry about, paying Uncle Sam. It's out already.
Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic. Well, God bless you, and you'll have a nice weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks. I wanted to share the good news. I know you guys always talking about stuff like that. So, and I call a little bit here and there. So, just wanted to tell everybody.
That's awesome, Joe.
Great. Enjoy.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Do something special today.
Maybe since you called us, we'll get some of that luck.
All right, stop the bum. Way to
Take
be.
care, buddy.
Joe hit 20,000. That's got to be a great feeling.
Fantastic.
It's not 20,000, but how about 1,000? We
take
at least
it.
give you a chance for 1,000. So coming up on the other side of this break, we're going to give you another shot at $1,000. Just make sure you get that keyword. Sit tight, relax, listen to our fine advertisers. Grab that keyword. While you're doing that, pull up realradio921.com on your computer or your phone. Have it ready. Get that keyword. Enter that keyword, and boom, just like that, you might